So I'm just gonna press record and speak my truth, and whatever comes to mind I'm gonna talk about and post it. I fear nothing anymore. Since losing my mom, there's absolutely nothing that I fear anymore. I really can't think of anything that I'm scared of. Because losing her was my worst nightmare coming true. There's nothing else that I fear. I don't know the purpose of this video, if it's to inspire somebody, if it's to help someone feel less alone. I don't know. I don't know why I'm doing this. I just feel very drawn to doing a video like this to kind of outline the timeline of everything that happened in my life, where I'm at, why I'm where I'm at, and maybe I'll do more videos, maybe I won't, who knows. So my mom lived in Texas, everybody knows that. But we talked every day. Every single day we talked. When she was here in California, she battled really terrible alcoholism, and she needed to get away from California and start her life over. My biological grandpa, Ralph, lives out in Texas, and told my mom, come down. So that's what she did. That was in like 2009. She moved away. Fast forward to January of this year, January 2024 this year. I was transitioning between a new job and my prior job, and something told me I needed to get on a plane. I needed to get on a plane and go see my mom. It wasn't planned, you know. I just had to go. There's no other way to explain it. Something told me to just open up a credit card, airline credit card, and go. So I did. That job prior made me feel terrible about going to see my mom. I worked that job for 3 years, took one vacation in those 3 years. And that whole situation was just really kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. I turned that place into an amazing day program, you know, made us one of the top day programs in that area. And the regional center just loved the day program. Anyways, I digress. And that's another thing, I'm probably going to be all over the place with my stories. I do have ADD. So anyways, I saw her in January. I started my new job with this company in February. I have cat hair in my nose now. Thanks, Bubbles. So I started this new job in February. Really cool job. Everybody there's been so amazing, you know. March, my mom gets sick. I only was at the new job for a month. She gets sick. So I'm constantly on the phone with her and checking in with her and, you know, what's going on? Are you okay? Do I need to fly out there again? And mind you, I had just gotten back from January. Oh, I got cat hair everywhere. And sorry. This has been my brain for the past several months. I did my eyeliner so I can't cry. I'm not gonna cry this video. Anyways, March I find out my mom is sick. Don't know what it is or what's going on yet. Simultaneously, Francis was declining rapidly. I mean, this spunky, loving, full of energy Siamese cat is suddenly lethargic, won't eat. Just something was wrong. My friend is a vet tech, and you know, I'd have her come and look at him, like, what's wrong with him. She would give him, she would do like fluid for him and rehydrate him and everything. It just kept getting worse. And I was convinced it was a tooth, so I was trying to get him in to see a vet, but no vet would see him. They're all booked out. It's really disheartening knowing that if you have a sick animal, you have to go to an ER vet. You can't even take him to a regular veterinarian anymore. There's not enough veterinarians in the world. Anyways, March 26th, I come home from work, and he's so bad. He's so bad. Like, I could just see in his face. I just put him in the cat carrier and rushed him to UC Davis Veterinary Hospital. And they're really good there. Veterinarian felt his kidneys and said it's not good. His kidneys are bad. It is cancer. I'm not going to let him suffer. I had to make the decision to put him to sleep. I put my cat to sleep on March 26th. March 26th was the day that I found out my mom's cancer was stage 4. And everywhere in her body. They were saying the brain, they were saying, like, clearly it was lung cancer, but they said that it metastasized to her brain and all her lymph nodes. It just, lung cancer just completely took over her entire body. And, you know, there's been an awful lot of coincidences, or I'm very observant to things that happen, and there's no way that Francis was not put here to help prepare me for losing my mom, if that makes any sense. I don't know if it makes any sense to anybody. He was my favorite pet. And literally 1 month, April 26th. Francis died March 26th. My mom died April 26th. That's blowing my mind. Ooh, I can't cry. I got my makeup. Ooh, nope, not doing it. Not doing it today. Whew. Anyways, let me tell you how much strength it takes to pull yourself up in the morning and go to work when you lose 2 of the things that you love the most simultaneously. But it gets worse. So obviously I had to fly out to Texas to see my mom. My job was really cool, really understanding, and let me take the time off. And they donated PTO. Hold on. Okay, so they donated PTO. They all donated 2 weeks worth of paid time off for me. And so I flew out to Texas the very next day because I spoke to her doctors at the hospital in Texas, and they said, you need to come out here now. I got that phone call at work. All I remember, is running out of the office and running to the side of the building so nobody could see me crying. Anyways, the very next day, I flew out to Texas. This Uber guy that picked me up was super, super awesome. I really wish I got his name. He's like, oh, what brings you down here? I blurted out, my mom's dying. He was a really, really nice guy. He took me to, he turned off his Uber. He turned off the Uber tracker and took me to Buc-ee's because I hadn't eaten in like over 24 hours. So we stopped at Buc-ee's and got some food and got some coffee and water and stuff. And then on to the hospital we went. I remember walking into her room. My biological grandpa Ralph was there. I wish that we were a little bit closer. It's just unfortunately my grandma kept my mom from him her whole life. So I didn't really get to grow up with him until now, later in life. I think I was like 13 when I first met him for the first time. Anyways, I'm all over the place, but I really want to just get the story out. It's just like eating me up. Okay, this is a trigger warning, like major trigger warning, because I don't want to upset anybody or, you know. Alright, picking up where I left off, the day got away from me. So, trigger warning again, major trigger warning about someone passing away. I will never forget when I slept in the room with her. She wasn't quite awake, but she would bang her wrists on the side of the bed. Just banging her wrists, asking for help. Over and over again, banging on the side of the bed. She had a breathing tube down her throat. She couldn't talk. She couldn't ask for pain medication. All she could do was bang her wrists on the side of the hospital bed. I got woken up so many times to her banging her hands on the side of the bed. And one of those times she woke up and she looked right at me, and her eyebrows, she rose up her eyebrows like she couldn't believe that I was really there. She saw that I was there. I'll never forget her. She had a breathing tube in her mouth, but she was still able to say the words, "I love you," to me. I said, "I love you" back. And time just stood still. I don't even remember how long I was in the hospital. I don't know how many hours that she was awake. I don't know I can't remember any of that. Anyways. Being in that hospital, when my Grandpa Ralph had to go home and it was just me and my mom in that hospital room. That was the most difficult time. But now I'm so grateful that I was there. She knows that I really loved her, and I spent all my time showing her that I loved her. And that's what so many people get wrong with the word love. You can't just say it. You have to show people that you love them. Be present. I always knew that losing my mom was going to be the hardest day of my entire life. I didn't know that it was going to affect me to the extent that it has. To the extent that I can't even work right now because my mental health is just so in shambles. And it's not even just the fact of losing my mom, losing Francis. It's everything. My own dad threatened to call the police on me when I talked to him on the phone the day after she died. He would threaten to call the police because I was in hysterics. The next day after she passed, my dad asked my uncle to ask for a death certificate. My dad didn't care that I was 1,700 miles away in Texas, broke as hell, just had to pay for my mom's services for cremation, and my own dad didn't care. All he cared about was a death certificate so he could file for some pension, I guess, that my mom was apparently entitled to a percentage of. But all he cared about was getting a death certificate so he can get money. I never in 100 years thought that my own father could make me feel the way that he made me feel. Just recently, because another life-changing thing is I sold my house. I bought an RV. I now live in a stationary RV and sold my house. Because I started the process because I was tired of not being able to just jump on a plane to see my mom. I work, I make good income, but yet still was not able to afford to see my mom. I had to open up a credit card. And that was kind of like an aha moment. Like, what am I doing? Like, why continue this cycle when at the end of the day, what really matters is who you love and care about, and your physical health and your mental health. Money doesn't matter. Status doesn't matter. Materialistic things don't matter. We can't take it to the grave, you know? I'm bouncing all over the place, but I'm not going to take the time to re-record, and I don't have the time for all that. But anyways, what was I going to talk about? I'll never forget the amount of oncologists and nurses and doctors surrounded me. It was like her entire care team were all around me and explained, like, there's nothing that we can do. You need to basically make a decision. So I had to make the decision to pull my mom off of life support. The fact that I literally was in that hospital room with her as she took her last breath. I watched my mom pass away in front of me. I know we all die. I know everybody dies. And maybe that's why I'm making the video. Because life is so goddamn short, man. What are we doing? Like, what are we really doing with our lives? We slave away and work hard and to have fancy things and have status symbols, and when at the end of the day, does it really matter? It doesn't. Something's got to change, and maybe I can do some good with my damn social media and talk about real shit and talk about real things that are going on in the world. Not everything is rainbows and sunshine. This has been one terrible year. And somehow I just keep going. I don't want to keep going, but I just keep going. And if I can keep going, then anybody, for Christ's sake, like anybody can get through anything. And we just really got to take more time to be present, be in the here and now, do the things that you want to do. Like, life is really short, you guys. Making sure I'm not forgetting anything I wanted to talk about. So, a lot of people know, if you're on my Facebook, you know that I sold my house. And I did it because I wanted to make a point, not only to save money, but to make a point that you don't need a big house to be happy. You don't need things, big boats, lavish vacations, shopping. Why can't we just be happy with what we have? It's time to change the way that we're thinking. It's time to change the way that we live. I'm starting to get a little bit of glimmer back. Not much, but there's a little bit of a glimmer. Little tiny bit of Brittany deep down really wants to come out, but I've been so clouded with grief in every aspect. My brain is so destroyed from this grief and everything that's gone on that my job had to put me on a leave. How embarrassing is that? I'm really trying with everything that I got. I'm journaling, I'm walking, I'm trying to eat better, but damn, this has been hard. This has been a really hard road. But I think one of the positive things that came out of this, well, that's not a... One of the lessons I've learned, there's a few of them. Quit giving a shit what other people think about you, because it's none of your business. Do what the hell you want to do. post the fucking video. Speak your truth. Like, speak your truth. It's time that we stop numbing ourselves down to please other people, and so people don't get their feelings hurt when they have no accountability for who they've hurt. So I just really, I don't know where I'm gonna go with this. My next video will probably be a tour of my RV and my lifestyle that I'm living now. I'm literally 20 feet from the water. It's really awesome. I basically grew up on the Delta with my mom and dad. You know, we'd always go out in the boat and go tubing, and, you know, I kind of feel like home being back on the Delta. The suburbs is not for me. I find this home very peaceful for me and my animals. I'm really going to take the next several months to focus on my mental health, and going to try to really meditate, get back on track, get organized again, make plans with my friends again, stick to them. And just be there for one another. You have no idea what the next person is going through. Just be a kind human being, and don't be selfish. I didn't really have anybody to hold me and hug me as I cried over my mom. Here and there when people would visit me, or I, run into somebody, of course. I had nobody to hug me and hold me during the loss of my mom. All I remember is just screaming and collapsing on the floor in the hospital room. All I remember is I put my fingers in my ears so hard because I didn't want to hear her gasping for air. I put my fingers in my ears so hard that I made my ears bleed. I couldn't stand the sound of it. Once I got moved here to the new place, 2 of my cats got out. Boo Boo and Cookie. I haven't even shared the story about Lovey. Oh my God. So when my mom passed away, I did a one-way flight to Texas. I totally skipped this whole section of the story, but here we are. I'm not editing this, and I'm not wasting my time doing that. It is what it is. So I flew one-way ticket to Texas, right? And all that happened. I felt like it was my duty to take her pets with me and get Lovey's broken leg fixed, and that's what I did. Melissa flew out to be with me and drive cross country with me. That was pretty sweet. That really meant a lot to me. So here we are with 3 cats, all the photo albums I could find, all the keepsakes that I could cram into the Subaru. Packed everything up in that Subaru with the animals and drove cross country to get them home. And again, with the lack of veterinarians, the lack of veterinary care, poor Lovey, come to find out he was hit by a car in Texas, and his entire hip socket was shattered. All the bones in his hip, oh my God, all the bones. So here's your hip, and here's the bones here were shattered in his hip. I'm so happy that this dog had surgery. I'm so happy. That was the best money I ever spent. He's actually using the leg now and running on it. But it's been one whirlwind. Like the past several months, it's a complete blur. It really is. You know, I'm a strong person, but all the stuff at once has been really hard to manage. I'm really going to take this time to take care of myself the next several months. And that's another really sad thing. Kaiser and my doctors know every single thing that has happened to me in such a short period of time. Lost my cat, lost my mom, moved, selling my house, new job. Like, I've experienced so many of the top major life changes in such a short period of time. Of course I'm not able to function and like be a stellar employee like I usually am. And the fact that I had to like beg my doctor, like they put me off of work. I need some kind of income coming in. I pay into my short-term what is the SDI? You pay into that with your taxes. I've worked since I was 13 years old and legally worked since I was 16. And the fact that I have to beg for a couple of grand so I can take care of my mental health just goes to show you how jacked up our mental health system really is. It's like, holy crap. I just need 3 months to heal my brain and regulate myself and get settled into my new home. Maybe go on the kayak for a minute and breathe some fresh air. I'm just now, today is August 11th, right? I don't even know what day it is. And I'm just now starting to feel like the waters are calming. Everything's starting to calm down finally. And it's August 11th. Anyways, I'm going to end the video now because this is going to make the video like 40 minutes long now. But I felt really inclined to share my story of everything that's happened over the past several months and where I've been, what I've been going through, and have the balls to actually put it on a video. Why not? I fear nothing. When I said that, I really literally... Okay, maybe Black Widows, but otherwise, I don't fear anything right now. That feeling's a little scary. Is having no fear, and I didn't even cry over Cookie or Boo Boo. Nothing has rocked me quite as hard as losing my mom. And then learning what a selfish person my dad really is. All these years I wondered, why does he treat me like this? It's just him. He's just a selfish, jealous human being. And I'm so glad that I gave my mom all the love that I gave her. No doubt about it, that woman knows I loved her. Love her. Oh, not gonna cry. Nope, not doing it. But, so whatever you're going through right now, just keep going. It's what your loved ones would want you to do. So there was quite a few times that I just ready to give up. But then my mom's purpose would be meaningless, right? I found cards from when I was a little kid that my mom wrote me. And she wrote all, like most of the cards she wrote me is, you are the reason I lived. You're the reason that I breathed. Every card was written like that. So, I'm going to end this here. I'm going to post it because fuck it, why not? And I'm going to do some more uplifting, more positive videos, hopefully, when I'm not so down in the dumps. But I do want to give you guys a tour. I do want to do some kayaking videos and stuff like that. So, alright. Take care.